Hello everyone, my name is the Ultimate Spy, and welcome to another episode of Reviewed number 185. And today, I'm going to be reviewing Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2, the sequel to 2009's Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. So what did I think of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2? Honestly, I liked the first film more. I just do. I didn't hate this one. I just feel like it was a bit unnecessary to have a sequel. It really didn't need one. But at the same time, it was an interesting way of continuing the story and bringing a new idea to the world of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. And with this one, again, it really did not need a sequel. The first one ended perfectly. I really liked how that ended, and the only reason they made a sequel is because the first one made enough money, and they wanted to continue the story, and I don't really think it was necessary. Not that it was a terrible sequel. It's just I don't think they needed it. I think that would have been just fine on its own. I mean, this one wasn't even based off the second book. It was nothing. It was a completely original idea, and honestly, the story itself is very interesting, but I don't know. I wasn't really the biggest fan of this movie. I think that's just an opinion, but I really think that the first one was a lot better. It had a better villain, I think, in the mayor. I don't know. I just like it a lot more. So with this one, they changed some things. I mean, obviously the animation got better, but they changed some things with the voice acting. The voice acting was different. At least only a couple of actors were replaced anyway. Earl, the cop or police officer, however you want to say it, he was replaced by Terry Crews. Terry Crews is also known for Everybody Hates Chris, as one of the things I know him from. And he's an actor who voiced him in the first film. I'm pretty sure it's actually just like a ring name or something like that, or like a stage name, something like that. It's not his actual name. But basically, he was replaced by Terry Crews. Don't know why. It might have been scheduling conflicts. I don't know. It might have been. And then you also have young Flint. He has a new voice too. It's obviously a woman voicing it, but you can tell it's a different voice actor. It's not that big a deal, but it's just like something to notice about it. And the film itself takes place immediately following the end of the first film. So like the moment that Sam and Flint kiss, that is where the movie left off. And then basically it's like a recap of the first film and all that stuff. And it is very interesting the way they handle the sequel. Not that I hated it. I didn't enjoy it as much as the first film, to be honest. The first film I would watch over and over again, but this one was like, ugh, okay, this movie, not horrible, it just, they could have done without it. It really didn't need a sequel. There wasn't really any story they could have, added to it, but they did anyway. So there you go. That they found a way to make more of the story, and it wasn't bad, honestly. So the idea of this film is not only does it take place after the first film, like right after the end of the first film, but like the machine that makes the food, it reawakens, it powers on again. I don't know why, it's not really explained how, just does it. And this company, LiveCorp, or Corp, however you want to say it, it's obviously Corp, but like there's a P, so it's weird. They relocate Shallow Falls. I mean, apparently they're called Shallow Falls instead of Trumansville, and they might have went back to the original name because of the disaster and all that stuff. So they relocate them so they can like clear out the leftovers that were left behind by the food storms. And then they come back after the people clearing up the island are having issues. It turns out that the machine, obviously now reawakened, has turned the food, the leftovers, sentient. So basically they're like food animals, or foodimals, basically. And basically they're like, the Flint and the gang have to go back to the island and find out what's up, shut the machine down, because Chester V, Flint's hero, he's a science hero from TV, who basically is the head of LiveCorp. He's the one who is basically making it possible for the island of Shallow Falls to be cleaned up, basically. And obviously things go wrong. Chester V turns out to be the villain. He wants to grind the foodimals up and to make them into food bars, basically. That's his evil plan. It's an interesting story, but honestly, still gotta love the first one. But one of the things that I liked about one of the scenes when Flint is first coming up with that idea is because the idea is that he has 6 months to come up with ideas, so he might be the next Think-O-Naut, which is basically like these, I guess, maybe high power things. I don't know exactly how it works because LibCorp is a huge company, and basically, while he's coming up with all these ideas, shows them on the screen. Now, all of them are basically ones that end in failure, more or less. I mean, he uses them, but some of them, most of them, because Tim is the test subject for all of them, they become crazy. They are out of control inventions, but they still somehow work, sort of. They're failures, but they are still successes. It's confusing. So I like that. That was really cool to see all the inventions that Flint had, including the grocery transporter or whatever you call it, the Celebrate, which actually uses a lot. The party in a box is used a lot. And I especially like the scene where Flint tests the party in the box on his dad, and that his dad goes into like a hyperventilated shock, and starts breathing and like he's just covered in decorative whatever it is, the color. It's just crazy. It's pretty funny. It was really funny to watch. It's like Tim's eyes like like his eyes are just like, oh my god. Now, a pretty funny scene is when Flint gets so hyped over winning the Think-O-Naut competition because HB called it a name that's very similar to his, but not exactly. It's like, oh my god, I'm winning, and then it turns out it's a guy named Flint Lee, and the last name is McCallahan, and he invents a car that can run on cute. Basically, it's like this cat, really cute cat, and it just runs on cute. It's just like, what the hell? But yeah, Flint becomes very humiliated because he didn't win, because his rival, the one that won, has a very similar name. Flint Lee is his name. And unfortunately, Steve, because Steve was told to push the button when Flint tells him to, he goes crazy and it lets the party in the box go crazy and all that stuff. So yeah, that was something else. And when Flint is humiliated, he's going home, and this song plays. It's basically narrating what he's doing. Like, he's walking home, and the song just like plays, like, basically narrating how he's feeling. It's like he's just humiliated, and it is hilarious. It's just like this adventure is so sad. It's like humiliation. Oh my god. And I also love the sparkling candle thing that kind of goes off. That's great. I just love that. It's so funny. And when Flint is finally home after being humiliated, 10 minutes after trying to cheer him up, but he basically just like wails and just cries. It's so funny. It's like having a temper tantrum. It's like, oh, like that. It's so funny. I just love it. I mean, honestly, this film had a lot of comedic moments in it. Honestly, I mean, the first one had two, but this one, it brings it back. The first one had a lot of fun moments. This one has it too. Just as funny. It's just fantastic. I love it. But now when Flint and Sam were recruiting everyone back to join the team to go back to Swallow Falls, they meet Earl at his job as a pastry maker or whatever. He's like a sweet guy, like a candy shop or whatever you call it, like an ice cream guy. Cupcake. I think he's selling cupcakes or whatever. And he joins the team again, and then he basically goes. And then his beard just grows back, just popped back into shape. Like, okay, apparently he has the power to grow his beard back, just like that. It was weird. Very, very funny, but just like, okay. And then when the team goes to fetch Manny, the Spanish cameraman, I mean, technically he's from Guatemala, which is also a place where they speak Spanish, but he's still Spanish even then. And he's in the middle of, like, pulling what looks like a goat, because I think it's a brown goat or whatever, out of a freaking cow. And Sam's like, we need your help. It's like, I can drop everything. Which might be a joke on, like, you want me to just drop everything? It's like, I can drop everything. Go. But it's like a freaking cow that has a goat in it. Like, what the hell? I don't know. Now, a really funny reference to Pac-Man is actually when Flint is explaining his plan to the team. The team's obviously Sam, Earl, and Brent, and also Manny too. And basically, he's doing his plan, and then you have like the last plan is to destroy the machine again, and it ends in the Pac-Man and Game Over sound. That's just, I love that. It's just like, wow, really? It's fantastic. I love it. It's so cool. Now, when the team finally arrives at Swallow Falls, it's actually this overgrown place because of the climate change. Basically, it causes the whole town to be overgrown by just like vegetation and all that stuff. And it feels like it's had an apocalypse because like, because like all the docks are going for like one, which is like, you know, still like withered. It's kind of like, you know, very broken. And then like the town is basically destroyed because all you have left is the power plant. The elementary school's gone. Like most of it is just gone. Everything. It feels like an apocalypse happened, where it's just like nothing is left. It's crazy. I mean, even the Baby Brent sardine cannery, like it's gone. It's like the shed part of it is still there, kind of intact, but like it's still missing pieces. It's like it's clear that an apocalypse just happened. It's wild. And also when they come to Flint's house, Tim isn't in this scene. It also looks like an apocalypse happened because like half of his house is like up a tree, and then his lab is like stuck to a vine that is like wrapped around the tube thing, the transport thing. It's like his whole house is just like gone. And then his lab, it's like has like electrical water in it. It's like, I mean, not only is his lab basically destroyed, but it's like it's covered in water. It's electrified. Like, where did that happen? Like, where did that come from? I don't know. It's obviously meant to be caused by the machine. That's what caused everything to go crazy and look like a wasteland. So there you go. Now, probably my favorite scene in the movie, when the group first sees the Foodimals, like actually sees them, like, you know, kind of like Jurassic Park style, where they're kind of like roaming and all that stuff. And you had the same awestrucken face that Flint wears when he first sees the cheeseburgers fall from the sky in the first film. Plus, it has the same music, so it's like he's like like that, and it's like the same amazing music is playing, and it is just like amazing. I love that music. It's one of my favorite scene, and also this, you know, the same scene is kind of like, you know, mirrored in terms of the expression on the faces from the first film. Just I love it. Now, one character that is very interesting in this film, it kind of changes his costume over time, is Chicken Brent, or simply Brent, however you want to call it. Basically, in the last film, he was literally in a chicken, like that was his like his clothes, and in this film, he somehow gets out of that and then gets into an actual like chicken costume for like, you know, his job is like a new job as like a guy who like, you know, holds a sign in a chicken costume, and then he obviously gets out of it and like into new clothes. But how does he do it? There's no explanation. Like he's just out of it. Like it must have been impossible to get out of that. And not to mention later on when he gets clothes, there's actually a continuity error because he puts on these sandals, and one shot his feet are turning purple because it's bad, kind of like, you know, where, you know, he's wearing sandals that are too small, and they turn purple. Obviously, that's gonna happen. But in the next shot, they're completely normal. It's like it's a big error right there, very big continuity error. I didn't quite understand that, but yeah, I definitely felt like Brent had more to do in this film. Kind of like Tim too. You know, he was more represented in this film a lot more because he had a lot more to do. Like he had an encounter with this group of pickle siblings, including a sister, who are basically obsessed with sardines, much like Tim, who loves them. And he basically teaches them to fish, which is cute. But like, we get more development of Tim. We get more of him. Like, I like that. That was really like, you know, we get not only a lot more screen time, but like a lot more development for his character. Like, we get to really know what he likes to do, which is fishing. So that's nice. Now Sam overgoes a drastic change. It's not that big a deal, but like it's very much like in terms of the animation style, because it has been 4 years since the first film came out. The animation was improved a lot, and so Sam looks a lot better. She has a slightly different version of her ponytail style from the first film. I mean, we see the same style at the beginning of the film, kind of to keep continuity, but like later on she changes it where it's like 2 thick strands of her hair are like parted down her ears. It's really cute, but also it's beautiful. Like, she is a lot more beautiful in this film. I mean, Flint comments that, you know, in the first one, the fact that she's beautiful. I mean, she is. She's a very beautiful woman, but like because the animation style has improved so much, she's even more beautiful. But also, one thing that's interesting about Sam is that later in the film, because we don't really see her hands up close, like her nails, when she's climbing the cheese platter, because, you know, turns out that the Foodimals are very friendly, actually. You know, the cheese platter is obviously just like, you know, it's a mother, so it's kind of like, you know, being careful. But basically, we see her, you know, do the How to Train Your Dragon thing, where she's calming the spider, referencing that How to Train Your Dragon, where Hiccups like calming the dragon by putting his hand to the dragon. And basically, we see her nails for the first time, like actually see her nails. and it looks like she's wearing like a peach-like nail polish, or like a light colored nail polish. It's very interesting though, like, cause you don't really think about that, like you don't really see that detail, and I'm really good at that, and so I noticed, like, oh, that's really cool, the fact that she's wearing what looks like nail polish, like, it's really interesting. It's nice. It's a nice little touch, and like little detail, but it's like I didn't notice that the first time, like, because all the other shots we see of her, we don't really get to see her nails. Like, you assume that they're like, they're clean. They don't have any nail polish, but basically, we don't really see that ever like at the movies. So it's really nice to have that the animators added that. Although it might just be like just her natural nail color, but like it looks very much like nail polish. Pretty sure it is. So I like that a lot. Now, my favorite Tim line. Tim is obviously Flint's father. So he's talking to the pickles, like, trying to, like, teaching them this fish. And he's like, why am I talking to a pickle? And then the sardine on his line's like, like it shrugs its fins, like, just no. That was fantastic. I love that. It's just like, wow, really? But also, like, the comedic timing of everything itself is great. Like, when the team is first arriving to the island and they, see, they kind of make food jokes, like, we're toast, or, this is bananas, or whatever, like that kind of thing. And you have, like, Tim's like, oh, it'll be a piece of cake, and then the camera shifts to a literal piece of cake, which is actually from the trailer, because it's a different perspective, because obviously it's just a trailer. But it's like a piece of cake, literally a piece of cake. Like, wow, really? Way to make a good joke there. I like my comedic timing. It's a really nice touch. Now, just like the first film, there is a Star Wars reference. Amazing, right? So obviously, in last week's episode, I mentioned how in the first film, the Star Wars reference was in the form of the machine within the meatball exploding like into like the Death Star style, like, with the ring and everything like that. In this film, it's a crocodile who sounds exactly like a Wookiee. Like, he sounds like Chewbacca. Like, it's fantastic. I think the creators of these movies are big Star Wars fans. I'm pretty sure they just wanted to add that in there as an Easter egg, so very nice. Now, another error I found in this film was when Flint is using a donut to, like, when they come across the mountain that is housing the machine, because that's where they found the machine, and he's holding the donut to show perspective of the mountain where they are, and he feels like water goes to the top, and he's holding the donut here, and then another hand comes out of nowhere, and food comes out of the bottom. It's like, he has 3 hands now? Where do you get the... He only has 2 hands. He's holding the donut in one hand, and he's saying, water goes over the top in this hand. Like, where's the other hand? I don't know. I didn't understand that, so I was very confused about that. Like, it's clearly an error, but yeah, whatever. Now, Barry is so fun. He is such a cute character. He's obviously the strawberry. Barry the strawberry. He's so awesome. And he speaks in broken English, very broken English. Like when Flint is telling the food animals about his plan and everything like that and all that stuff, we have Barry translating what he's saying to the food animals, and it's like broken English. It's like it's sometimes English, but sometimes not. It's just like it's the best, and I love it. So that was a really funny moment because it's just like he's attempting to speak English, but you can tell he is, but like he's struggling, and it's just like amazing. So I just thought that was really cute and really funny. Now when Barry the strawberry gets into the mech suit for the first time, the suits that Sentinel security wears, whatever those things are called. I think they're just Sentinels. I don't know exactly what they're called. And the song that plays, it's like this techno beat song. It's awesome. I just love it. It's very short, but like it's just so fun to listen to. It's just like it's so catchy. And it's just like I don't even know what it's called, but it's just like it's awesome. I love it. It's very techno, and I liked it a lot. That was a really fun song to listen to. And last but not least, the final thing that I liked about this movie was pretty silly, actually. So when Earl first sees the food animals for the first time, he almost cries, but then he stops the tear, and he's like, it's almost enough for a grandma to cry, but not this man. He's like, get back in the tear. And then later at the end of the film, he actually cries, and then the tear drops down to a blueberry and makes it grow like a beard, like a small beard. It's just like, what the hell? I mean, it's obviously a cartoon, but it's just like, what? This movie is so weird. I don't know why it does it. It's just like it's so silly, but still, I didn't hate it, but I just didn't love it. It was just like a bit of an unnecessary sequel. I don't think they needed to have it, but they did it, and I still did like it, and I still did enjoy it. Just I kind of prefer the first one anyway, but that's just my opinion. But still, that's pretty much all I'm gonna say about Cloud with the Chance of Meatballs 2. I'm gonna give this movie a Probably a 7 out of 10. I don't think it needs 10 out of 10, honestly. It is not, you know, I feel like sometimes the sequels aren't as good as the first one, and that is true with this one. It just isn't as good as the first one. So that's why I'm not giving it a full 10 out of 10, just because it just wasn't as good. But still, that's pretty much all I'm going to say about Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. The most unnecessary sequel that they had, but at least the story was interesting, and they expanded upon the original and made it interesting, but just they didn't really need it. So that's all I can say. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this episode overviewed. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button. I really appreciate it. And if you are new to this channel, subscribe for more episodes of this series and other series that I do, as well as other great content. Also, make sure you click that bell to enable alerts so you don't miss any of my uploads, and I'll be back next week with another episode. Alright? See you.